In 1941, the United States joined World War II and war was declared between America and Germany. But why did the Nazi army never invade the States? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, where today we are continuing our World War series. I'm Rebecca Felgate, and today we're imagining what if Germany had invaded America during World War II. Germany was pretty busy in 1941. By this point, it was already fighting a war on two fronts, the Red Army to the east and the French and British armies to the west. Fighting on a third front at that time would have been practically impossible. It is clear that the Germans considered America to be an eventual target, with Hitler often hoping to team up with the British to eventually attack the States as a team. However, hopes of this quickly died when the UK declared war. In 1941, Germany did still hope for military success. They chose their moment to declare war on America just days after the fellow power Axis ally Japan hit the United States soil in the Pearl Harbor attack. If anything, they were hoping that Japan could focus on the American threat. However, there were some vague plans to attack the United States land when the army wasn't so occupied. They would have entered through Canada via a planned capture of Greenland, then eventually down the fifth column. They also saw Pearl Harbor as key, and had they destabilized the Red Army, they would have sent troops over the Russian land to Alaska and down into the rest of the states. But of course, this was all just a pipe dream. Had Germany decided to invade America by land, it would have divided up their already dwindling troops. Along with war to both the east and west in Russia and France, Germany had troops in Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Even if Germany could muscle up the manpower, if they tried to invade via the Atlantic, the Kriegsmarine would have been squashed by the much more powerful British Royal Navy. But let's pretend that they were able to get past the British Navy. There is no way that the reasonably limited German fleet could tackle the 1941 US Navy. By this point too, the American army was growing. By 1943, they had almost 7 million men, which is over 6 million more people than ever saw battle. These soldiers would have been ready to defend the States along its vast yet very defendable coastline. In short, if Germany had tried to attack by sea and or land, they would have been vastly outnumbered and their men obliterated. This would have weakened them significantly when they were still under a two-pronged attack in Europe. Had this happened, perhaps the defeat of the Nazi army would have been quicker for the Allies. While not exactly invading, Germany could have launched an aerial attack on the States. In fact, the Luftwaffe were considering a strategic transatlantic bombing and started to develop the America Bomber project to create planes capable of going the distance and striking. These plans were abandoned in 1942, again because of the mounting tensions from the two-pronged war in Europe. However, had they struck and succeeded, I can only imagine Germany could have met with the same fate that Japan did in the horrendous bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. It took the Japanese a very long time to recover from those attacks, but it would have totally devastated Germany. Whether or not the States chose to hit back with a nuke or not, they would have come back somehow, which again would have been another premature game ender for Germany. On a much smaller scale, Germany did try and invade with spies during Operation Pastorius in 1942. Here, saboteurs were supposed to plant explosives at key targets, including hydroelectric plants at Niagara Falls. However, this too was unsuccessful, and had any actual damage been done, once again, American retaliation would have been too crippling for the Third Reich to handle. The only successful invasion Germany could have hoped for was an ideological invasion, which they were kind of working on. In 1939, there was a pro-Nazi rally by the German-American Bund in New York City. This had over 20,000 attendees. However, the Bund never really grew to threat level. I guess America was founded on wildly different ideologies than that of Nazi Germany, that it would never have been possible to invade the American mind, and much less possible to invade their land. Ultimately, if Germany had attempted to invade America during World War II, they would have suffered heavy losses, which is probably why an already stretched German army never seriously considered it. There would have been vicious retribution too, which would have crippled an already struggling regime. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Life's Biggest Questions. What do you think would have happened if Germany had attempted to invade the United States? Do you think that the States could ever be invaded by a different country in the future? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'm Rebecca Felgate. Make sure you click the like button if you find this content interesting, and make sure to turn on notifications for this channel. For now, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.